who should be the favorite, or forget who should be, who is your favorite for the Big Ten West this year? Because I'll ask you about the East and maybe being realistic. Well, I'll ask you about that in a second, actually. Let's hold off on that. But I like Iowa this year and Spencer Petras. I do think the offense could step it up a bit. I do think the defense is going to be elite still. I'm going with Iowa. Who would you say is the team out of the Big Ten West this year?
Right now, I have three of them: Nebraska, Illinois, Iowa.
Okay.
If Iowa wants to win out, they gotta beat Michigan out of the East, and they gotta beat Ohio State at home.
Yeah, I would say I like that. I have, after Iowa, I got Purdue. I think the rest of them could fight for the other five spots, but maybe Wisconsin's third or second. Um, you could be right. You could be on to something about Nebraska. Um, but I don't know, man. Aiden O'Connell back at Purdue. You got Spencer Petras in Iowa. You got Wisconsin. They always have good, solid O line. That always helps them, and they're never really too far behind in the division. But I like Iowa this year, man. They went 10-2 last year. Even if they take a step back, I still think that they are maybe a step or two ahead of some of the other teams.
And for Nebraska, it's about not making your self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah,
I believe they lost, 9 straight games with 7 points or fewer?
I think that sounds about right, and maybe that's some motivation for them.
Yeah, look, you have a whole new offensive staff coming in. You'll have Martinez, but I like when you guys play Oklahoma this season. Let's say you're 3-0, and if
Mm-hmm.
you win that game, that could boost your season to new heights. Plus,
See, those are the games, and actually, that is interesting because it is a big time rivalry, Oklahoma Nebraska. That's on September 17th. They play Northwestern to open. They play North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks. They play Georgia Southern. That could honestly, and I'll say easily, I think could be a 3-0 going into Norman, or not Norman, but they play Oklahoma from Norman. That's in
yeah,
Lincoln. That could be some motivation being undefeated in that game, and that could boost them. Then they get a bye week. They play Indiana in their homecoming game, at Rutgers, at Purdue. You could be onto something. This season actually could set them up.
and I think with Oklahoma is if that's a home game, I
Mm-hmm.
want that a primetime ABC game.
Yes.
Because that, I've never seen a fan base like Nebraska. That's not going to be a walkthrough for Oklahoma.
I don't think so.
Espe- especially since you have Spencer Rattler to South Carolina, who I think could be a possibly 8-4 team in South Carolina.
Yeah.
This is make or break for Nebraska.
Yeah, and like I said too, I have Iowa winning the West. I got Purdue next, then Wisconsin probably third, maybe Nebraska there at third. But I wouldn't have them lower than fourth. It is interesting, and maybe some people might say that you're crazy for that take, but man, honestly, this might be the year to do something if you have a chance. If you're Scott Frost, right?
Right, and you have to go under the Ann Arbor, so if they beat Oklahoma
Mm-hmm.
and Michigan, if you go to not 8-4, those are your two best wins.
Yeah.
May not be pretty wins, but you get the job done. And for Illinois, it's about just keeping up the pace. They lost to UTSA last year, which is unexcusable for any Big Ten team.
Yeah.
So if you're Illinois, you have to win the winnable games. And Northwestern's they're just a down pick right now. Don't know what their deal is, but they lost to Duke.
That is true. And it takes a lot of not so much skill to lose to a team like Duke in football. They are a basketball program, and they really aren't too much with football. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that one. But so okay, so you're going with probably Nebraska for the West. What about let's talk about the East for a second.